Crouch. Bind. Set.
Joe presents the House of Rugby, together with Guinness.
Hello and welcome to a new, fresh out of the packet, ready to be unwrapped in your earballs edition of House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe together with our very good friends at Guinness. My name is Alex Payne and it is a great pleasure to have alongside this week's Power Pair.
Oh, nice.
Two World Cup winners. Rachael Burford, welcome back to you. How
Hello,
are you?
thanks for having me back.
You got the reference, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
We're all
I
fans.
dropped.
We're all fans. And the law is back as well. How's your week been?
It's been fantastic.
Good.
Just keeping an eye on Hask.
Good.
I think he's doing all
You've
right.
downloaded the app. You've voted.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we make of the first 48 hours of?
I think it's been all right so far.
How would you mark him out of 10? For
Yeah,
his
no, I
performance
think
so
it's
far?
been good. I definitely knew if he ever had the chance to pick a pairing, he would pick Caitlin. He just sees social media follows from her.
He's gone for likes, hasn't he?
Doesn't
social
miss a
media
trick.
likes, yeah, follows from her daughters and the possible meeting. Chloe, be careful. And then, but I think he's all right. Now it's how much food they actually get. Because obviously he was getting a little bit hungry, wasn't he? Just
little
last
fizzy at
night.
the edges.
And obviously Righty was also getting a little bit hungry. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes tonight because they've all got to do something tonight.
They do. Do you think Haskell's going to be able to keep up the pretense of the, jolly big giant as that hunger kicks in?
I think hunger gets all of us, doesn't it, at the end of the day? But no, I think being in there, he's going to be so excited, isn't he? So I think kind of when that wears off, which might be towards the end of the week, then you might see a different side of him. What I'm looking forward to, did you see that thing that Chloe put out about can't wait for everyone to hear his foghorn and see what I have to deal with?
Some of us have seen that already, haven't we?
Yeah, we have
in
seen
Japan.
that. We have seen that.
Went,
if he keeps beating up Kate
unbelievable.
if he keeps beating up Kate Garraway, though, he's not going to make any friends.
Nation's sweetheart. I
In
know
all fairness,
how Kate feels.
I sort of tweeted after, I was like, you've got some serious technique issues to work with her on.
Yes.
Head on the
help
side.
her out there. We've got lots to get into, as always. We're going to get into a bit more ruggers this week as well. We're also going to touch once again on Saracens. That news just continues to develop. The story continues to develop. We'll talk about England's Red Roses, who played their get-out-of-jail free card this November with a dramatic late win against France. We've got the start of the European Cup, of course, Jamie Joseph, who's recommitted with Japan, and Israel Folau, would you believe it, has been at it once again. So we'll spend about 30 seconds moving swiftly past that. Just in terms of Hask in the jungle, though, into the shower last night, first person to get his kit off.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing...
Surprise!
He's mapped out a routine or a game plan. He's gone for the social media guru, and he's got his kit off at the first opportunity. I mean, he's not stupid, is he? He may have been trapped to the bottom of a couple of rucks, but he knows what he's doing out there.
I reckon anything where if they have to put that cage on the head tonight, he's like, that's his perfect. Cover up that, and then he'll be doing it semi-naked underneath just to get as many votes.
They're going to need a fairly big bowl to put over his
that is a
sizable
ginormous
horse head
sleeve
as well.
To be fair.
Interestingly, James Haskell's shower was trending. I wonder if that's the first time that's trended, or whether there've been one or two instances in the past. James Haskell's
Probably
shower,
the first time that sort of shower. Yeah.
yes, was trending, and we've had some quite interesting feedback on Twitter as well. James Haskell in the shower, said Anna on Twitter, is giving me everything I need on this gloomy Monday night.
Oh my God.
Sam said, seeing James Haskell in the shower is all that I've ever needed. And Ayla said, praise be to whatever God decided to put James Haskell in the shower.
Wow.
So he's picking up followers and fans as he goes.
Well, he did play up to it, though. He did have a little dance, as if it was
Yeah.
like slow-mo music to it.
Yeah, he
done
did
that
it. Yeah,
before.
he's definitely done that before.
We-
Look at the rigor.
Yeah, well, he gets it out every opportunity. I mean, half the content we
you don't
created
even-
in Japan
you don't
was
even
him with
want
his
it.
shirt
You
lifted
don't
up.
even want it, and he still
He
does
is
it.
looking good, though. You can't knock him.
Do you think...
Calm
Sorry.
down. No, he is.
Calm down,
He
bro.
is in good nick.
Turn that twinkle down in your eyes.
But he always said he would be when he didn't have to do it. Well, he can't run. We've discussed this.
Yes.
The fact that he literally can't run.
He is the roundabout.
So all he does now is train and eat well and drink pathetically.
Do you think
in
those...
Tokyo.
There'll be lots of people who've no idea, don't occupy the rugby bubble, but there are lots of people who do, and Hayley John has said, James Haskell's lovely, definitely massively misunderstood. He's getting a bit of sympathy as well.
Well,
do you think he's offering layers to the people who perhaps haven't seen
we've
him
always said he's an
out there
onion,
before?
and he's got layers.
What makes people cry?
Well, that, but has layers at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what we've always said about him. If you get behind the lads, which he says that he doesn't do ever,
Yeah.
which is a lie.
We know
There
he
is
does.
a sensitive soul behind there.
Yeah.
That is very compassionate.
Because actually, funny enough, when you came on last time, you were a bit sceptical of him, but actually by then you were quite well bonded, the two of you, weren't you?
Yeah, well, we had a little bit of a run-in, didn't we?
What was that about?
He
Yeah,
was a bit
you
upset with me,
posted
wasn't he?
something on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, Cassio, yeah.
Something
Something
that was
about, I like that.
Which
Don't
is
worry,
well
he's had
done.
that numerous times. I just
You still can't let it go, though.
But you're, you're bonded now.
Yeah, I think, like, as he said, you'll see a different side to him.
Yeah.
And you won't see just that lad side or the banter flying around. You'll see the sensitive side, coming up with cooking ideas which weren't his, all of that going on. So I think he'll do well.
it might stealing other people's cooking
The
ideas.
stir fry. I felt for
It
him.
will
He's
be.
just loud.
Well,
He just
hopefully, he won't have people wet willying him at after dinner speeches anymore.
You reckon?
That's it. Well,
He's got far worse things going in and out of his ears in the jungle, you'd imagine.
well,
Okay,
we
now,
will
yeah.
have that by the end of the night.
Do we reckon he's performing well, though, at this point, Hoff? We're going to see him in the latter stages, or do you think he's vulnerable?
No, I think we are. I think I think he'll do well in the show. He's got that good charisma about
Who
him.
is vulnerable at the
Yeah,
moment?
I don't-
Who's not caught your love and affection?
I don't think there's.
They're all a very nice bunch of
Yeah,
people, aren't they?
Yeah.
at the moment, it's you're not really into the hurt zone yet, are you?
No.
Where
a
you
couple
see
of days
where
in,
you see the
yeah.
true.
I can see Andrew cracking under some... Is it Andrew, the comedian?
Yeah,
Andy?
Oh, do you think?
the
Yeah, I
Irishman.
can see him. Andrew Maxwell, I can see him getting...
I think he
Jackie.
could go into.
Oh, I like Jackie.
Yeah, but I think when the heat comes on, she might begin
You
to...
say that Caitlin was crying on for day
Yeah,
one.
for day
night
one. But then she was very sprightly the next day.
Yeah.
So maybe she needed that.
I
I
don't know.
can't
She's-
actually believe that my job now involves discussing I'm a celebrity.
No.
Yeah.
Only for 3 weeks.
Have you downloaded the app?
I have downloaded the app and I voted for Has to deal with scorpions.
Did you?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then I had to
I'm
pick
looking
other
forward to
people. I
this
was like, I don't want to pick anyone else. Can I pick James Haskell 5 times, please?
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to.
What about the... Did you just very quickly? Did you see the bit when they got the car and the...
The huntsman.
yeah.
Literally.
How did they do that? Like, that has to be a...
As in, they
How
put
did
it
they
in
set
there.
it? Well, they just put it in the car
Yeah.
and hoped
Yeah.
it stayed in the same place.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
huntsmen, they are massive.
Yeah.
When I stayed in Australia last year, I got in the shower and there was a humongous huntsman. But
How did you react?
So you say.
I didn't jump out of the shower. I
How big is a
picked him
huntsman?
up and pushed him out.
You picked
They
it
are.
up.
It would be the size of your hand.
And you picked it up.
Moved it out. Yeah.
They're not
It's
poisonous.
their house spider.
Right.
We have little ones.
Very happy at
They
Shepherd's
have
Bush
very
on
big
that
ones.
basis.
Yeah, so it's
But they
fine.
didn't bite or
I'd
anything?
pick it up with my hand. I put it
Oh,
on
I
something
see.
and moved it.
Perfect. Hit it with
Wasn't
a shoe.
quite sure that I wasn't 100% sure it wouldn't bite you. Or something,
Good.
but-
Oh.
unless it had come from
Not
So you're not
a special lab that which would give me skills, I wasn't.
It's like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We're not prepared to say who we don't like and who we want off at this point. We're
I
too
don't think
nice.
we're at
no
that
one's
stage
annoyed
yet.
me
Yeah.
yet.
We're
No
all
one's
one
annoyed
of
me
them.
yet.
End of the week, once they've eaten and slept much.
Yeah.
I hope Hoff charges on. Well done to those of you who've come here for a detailed analysis of I'm a Celebrity Getting Out of Here. I hope that satisfies you.
It's going to be added to our it's
Every
our brand
week.
now, isn't it?
Do you think?
We're going to be the go-to.
Do you think?
Yeah, forget it.
I think
What's the opposite one that's on like ITV2?
Strictly.
No, the one that comes after the after
Oh,
show.
the-
It takes...
Well, they'll come to us. Yeah, the
do you think
version.
they
Oh,
will?
yeah.
I think Chloe's going on
In the
that, actually.
after.
she will do. Yeah,
I think she's out of doing it. Can I just say
she'll
one
give
thing?
him the blueprint on how to ignore it. How
Yeah,
to annoy
exactly,
him. Hopefully,
yeah,
then you just see a raging
Yeah.
Haskell.
Can I just say one thing, which is I'm not a devotee of I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, but Ant and Dec are sodding brilliant.
Yeah, they are good.
They are really,
Yeah.
really... They're the best thing
They're
about it.
Yeah,
And
they are
Haskell,
good.
obviously, but I really enjoy what they do.
Yeah, they are very good.
Glad we cleared
And
that
generally
up.
very nice as well.
Are they? Do you play golf with them?
No,
Where do you mingle
Not
with
yet.
Ant and Dec?
not
And-
often.
and
I've
Dec?
only mingled with them twice,
Right,
and that was at a Grand Prix, and
Right.
they were very good fun.
right. Probably trying to be a little less fun nowadays.
No,
One or two of them.
Yes, I thought you might go there.
No, that's all right. You know, he cracked a gag about it in the opening thing.
Yeah,
didn't
well,
he?
that's true. I had a
Good.
year off.
And the year off.
What's
he
your
had.
excuse?
Yeah, exactly. Good. Right. Well done for all of that. Keep charging on the Hoff. Let's put the number up or vote for him or whatever it is that we need to do in order to keep him in there suffering and enjoying himself. Shall we move from the jungle to Saracens?
Mhm.
The story
Right.
continues. Were you decisions? Were you surprised by the decision not to appeal yesterday, or did you think it was coming?
Well,
Have you had a bit of comms with Nigel?
I did. I asked
Yeah.
him to come on, but he said they'd wait until after the appeal.
Okay.
But I think if you look into it, I don't think they could appeal, is what has come out. They could only appeal if they had proof of unfairness or procedural errors had taken place.
Right.
So unless they could prove that, they couldn't actually appeal.
Right.
So I don't think they were ever realistic. I think probably what that first statement was a bit of just shock and annoyance at what had been done. But then at least, in the statement that was given today, it was all about the good of the game.
Yeah.
Moving on, I think if it had dragged on and they'd gone for an appeal and you didn't know where they sat, did they have minus 35 points or did they not have minus 35 points? I think it could have ruined the season a bit.
Yeah.
Players wise, you don't really know where you stand. At least is what they've done. I think all the players know now we're at minus 22 points. We're going to have to get to, if we look at the leagues, we're probably going to have to get to 30 points.
They reckon they have to win
35
10
points.
of their last 18 games.
Yeah, which they can do.
Yep.
Obviously, the big thing for them is now managing their players, because they can only play 35 games with their England players, can't
Yeah.
they? So they've got to manage that.
It looks like they've already taken a knee in Europe.
Yeah, I think
fair for their
realistically
selection
they're going to
against
just. I think that, but looking at it now that they've accepted that they've got to. I think, just because of the amount of games. But I thought his statement was pretty good in terms of he took it all on his own shoulders, fully exonerated the coaching staff and the work that they've done. And if you saw that interview with Mark McCall at Gloucester, he was like, "Look, we've got to act like we're getting that 35-point deduction anyway, and just move on." He said that he's going to financially stick by the club, and no players are going to have to get sacked because this year they are complying.
Right.
So hopefully, I saw the guy from Premiership Rugby. I think he was happy with that, so he doesn't really. It was just a clear line in the sand sort of thing, and they can move on.
Everyone knows where they are. How hard is it going to be for the club to recover from this?
Well, it's obviously going to be quite difficult for them, but I think, they've already spoken about how their mentality doesn't change, how they approach things. They're still going to go out there and try and play the way that Sarries want to play and ultimately get through the season the best that they can. But I think, like Mike's saying, they just kind of want to crack on now. I think whatever the breach that was done, there's something that's gone on. So appealing it's only going to take more time, more money, raise more concerns and, players not sure, this, that, the other. And they just kind of want to draw a line under it, get back to focus and committing to their players and playing week in, week out.
Yeah.
And they are bringing in a new director to
Independent.
oversee new governance.
Yes.
And stuff.
I just wonder whether this is the end of this or whether one or two other clubs are going to quietly be shuffling paperwork in the background and bonfire out the back.
That's going to be
thing.
the interesting thing is behind the scenes as well. Is Sarri going to go, well, can you have a look at them?
That's
And can
what
you
I
have a look
wonder.
at them? Would they be wrong to do that? I don't think they would. I think they'd want to show that their punishment's been quite harsh because other people have been doing it as well. But, this comes back to the salary cap manager just having complete carte blanche on everything. He should be able to see everything that's going on. And I think the biggest thing is the fact that he admitted that he should have asked for permission with these companies, and he didn't. So I think he knew that in the long run he was probably pretty buggered anyway. But it's a shame. It's good that it's done. I actually quite like the fact that it's done and you can move on. And I still think they do amazing things for their players on and off the field, and that's why they've had the success. I don't necessarily think it's always down to the cash side of it. I think what they put in place to help their players progress to potentially when they leave the game and getting them involved in companies and stuff like, in terms of work experience in companies is good. So hopefully they can move on. They can be compliant this year, and then we can move on. But to see if there's more under that's going to be turned over, we'll have to wait and see.
What about the Eddie Jones comments about Premiership survival overtaking the need to represent your country in the Six Nations? Burf first. You're huffing and puffing.
He's
Go.
No, you go.
Well,
Can you see a scenario where Marrow and Owen Farrell and Mako say, I'm not available for this Six Nations because I need to protect the club and the day job and ensure that we have Premiership status at the end of the season.
Your players to be put in that position is I don't think that's the type of environment that Saracens would put their players into. You talk about all the work that they do off pitch with them, supporting them, developing them, to then back them into a corner like that. I think that would be pretty wrong, and I couldn't see them doing it.
Where are we with ring fencing the Premiership? They keep talking about ring fencing it at 13, don't they?
Don't know.
I wonder if that convenient conversation might appear before the end of the season again.
But then surely that would be a breach of their EPS contract. Unless they had a valid...
Well, unless they retire and then come out of retirement.
What, a week? 5 weeks later?
Their old Joe Marler did it,
Well, that's true. But
no contract's up as well. Because surely a lot of them would have finished by end of World Cup.
The EPS?
The EPS rolls, isn't it, though?
Is it? I think it's year to year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it rolls, and then it just gets... Then they add a bit in for the World Cup, and then what comes from the World Cup, I think...
Right, okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's basically how it works. But I think it surely must be in breach of something. And I don't see how players.
Well, then Saracens lose their EQP payments, which is what, 80 grand a player or something.
So it wouldn't work. But it wouldn't work because then the money that they get to pay the squad players that they've got, they wouldn't. Sorry,
is that a wife?
Yeah.
Where are you?
They wouldn't get that money that pays the players that will stand in for them. So it just probably won't work. I don't think it will. I don't see how. I think it's just Eddie just.
It does make for a fascinating subplot to the entire season, doesn't it? You've got the best team in the league, 22 points behind it. I mean, they are starting from the pit lane with everyone else 2 laps in.
Do you think that people who are baby club neutral will root for them now?
There's part of me that really wants them to get close.
I'm sort of rooting for them now. Maybe not to get, to survive. I think it'd be an unbelievable achievement.
Good story at the end.
But as we went through last year, the last 3 seasons that they have so-called breached, they would have stayed up anyway with a 35 point.
Yeah.
So you sort of expect them to.
Leicester and Bath looking a little bit nervous.
Well, just imagine if you do go down and someone's you've had a 35-point head start on someone and you still manage to go down. Yeah.
How does it change the setup of the club? I mean, do they obviously it looks like they've said no to Europe this year, but do you have to now go bonus point hunting earlier and faster, or can you just? Is it the same as?
I don't think you can think like that. I think you just have to go and win games. If you have to go and win all your games. And then if you're in that position to go for bonus strikes, you go at the appropriate time.
I think if you add extra pressure, there's already an enormous amount of pressure. If you start putting, kind of things like must win and must get a bonus point, then that's just more pressure. Whereas just go out, commit to the same things that you've been doing, play the same way we have been, and build on that. Then, they've got enough talent there to get wins, and then hopefully on the back of that get some bonus points.
Yeah, there's been so many games that you've seen where people have to go and get a bonus point and they just chase it and make so many mistakes and then either end up losing it or just scraping through a game that they should win comfortably.
Yeah.
So
because their focus is all on that.
It's all on, you just end up throwing miss balls and this and that, and you don't build on your sort of procedures that get you where you need to be. So I can't see them doing that. I think their coaching staff's got so much experience. I don't think
players are really disciplined as well to not go chasing things.
Okay. If they do go down, that means next year. There was a really good interview with Gatland, Oren Gatland, with Ugo on the 5 Live pod, and he got Gatland to name 5-6 key players who would figure in a Lions Test series, who he thinks will figure in a Lions Test series. Mako, Billy, Owen, Watson he went with, but I'm just thinking there are 4 or 5 Sarries in there. If they do go down, that means next year 5 potential of the backbone of the Lions for 2021 will be playing in the Green King IPA Championship.
How rested would they be?
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Do you think if
Sarries go down,
they'd be fresh as a daisy?
But if Sarries go down, do the players stay?
I would.
What's that in an EPS contract? Because in the women's game, you have to be a part of a Tyrrell's Premiership club.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's.
You don't have to be, because I don't think you do. Wasn't the fullback from Worcester? Wasn't he involved when he was?
Chris Pennell.
Wasn't he involved?
I think they had been relegated, but they were still in. They were going down from the Premiership. That was in 2014 when he went to New Zealand.
But surely you'd want your players playing week in, week out in the top league.
I'm pretty sure that
I'd love to see
Gatlin would like it because then
I'm pretty sure that
season's done.
Eddie would like
I'd
it
love to
because
see
he'd just be able to get
Owen,
on fit.
Billy, Mako, Marrow
can you
running out at
imagine-
the Mene field against the Cornish Pirates.
Could you just see, people in that league just
Pertemps
take bus
bees
turn up
away.
and be like, oh no.
Do you know
Not
that
this
would be another unbelievable story?
Yeah.
You'd have to sort of reverse the batting order. You know when you're at school and it gets to 50-0 and then you start mixing the teams up? You'd have to do a little bit of that.
No disrespect for anyone in
No disrespect to
No,
anyone, but we are
yes,
talking about 5 of the most
well, you're looking
top-class
at,
players in the
players,
game right
yeah.
now.
and you're looking at the best team in Europe for 4 years.
It's going to be fascinating. It makes for a hell of a story.
Guarantee. I think the league has been fantastic for the last 2 seasons in terms of top's been more boring than the bottom.
Yeah,
So you've just added, you've just supercharged what's going on at the bottom
yeah,
in terms of what's going to happen, and it's now opened up the top for
yeah.
a free for all at the top.
Yeah.
Everyone would expect now Exeter to be cruisy at number 1, but then
Bristol
all the
going
other
well.
spots.
Yeah,
I
Northampton.
think Bristol are going to go quite well this season.
Yeah,
Just like the look. I've liked the look of what they're doing. For
he's
the
a
last couple of
brilliant
years.
DOR, Pat Lamb as well. He'd be a good guest actually. Just in the England setup, is this going to have a knock-on effect when they all get back together? Inevitably, there'll be barbs and a bit of jousting, etc. Presuming they do get back together, this is. Having just come off a World Cup where the team spirit amongst them looked to be rock solid, is there going to be a bit of a knock-on to this? One or two players have been very outspoken about it.
Yeah,
Chris
that's
Robshaw,
true,
Danny
yeah.
Kerr have had a lot to say.
I think when you get into an England environment, you draw a line, you're moving on, you're in that environment, so that's what your focus is, and club is what it is. And ultimately, the players weren't at fault at all. What has happened has come from top down. The players have just turned up, done their job week in, week out, and so it's not in their backyard. It's above them. So I think for any players to then have gripes with others, they can have opinions and they'll probably talk about it and discuss it, and there might be a couple of rare ups, but I don't think it's going to be affected.
Would you be totally blasé about it if this was happening in the Red Roses? A whole lot of.
What do you mean by blasé?
Would you just let it? Would you mention it? Would you be cross about those players who have benefited from the success of breaking the rules, or would you just
I think you'd just have a bit of banter about it. You'd wind them up about it and just tease them and go that route with it, because ultimately there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it.
Move on.
Yeah.
You're not only abusing because you were jealous.
And so they're not being stripped of their titles. That wasn't actually in the punishments available, so they are still the champions of the champions. What about I don't mean to trivialise the story, but what about for the likes of Owen and Billy and Mackham and Marrow? How unsettling? What is going through their head at this point about the predicament they're in?
Look, unless they were adamant at the start when they were setting up these companies and stuff, and they were like, you need to make sure this goes through the salary cap, and they were pushing it themselves, which I can't imagine any player was. They were just going, okay, that sounds like a really good idea. I want to do this. Yeah, okay, they're doing that. And you're just probably assuming that they're doing the diligence on the other side of it. Then I don't think they're going to be affected by it. I think from the players who have benefited, they will feel like they owe them to help them get out of the situation, even though they didn't really create it themselves. But I think it will drive them on. I think it's going to spur them even more to, and I think it's just written every speech for every game. Yeah, for McCall and Alex Sanderson.
Yeah.
In terms of look, they've done this to us. Let's show that we can come back from anything. It doesn't affect us, and we get tighter. They've been brilliant at being able to pull things together. The wolf pack mentality when they need to, and this is one of those times where they really need to dig in deep. And I think all the characters that are in their team are so rock solid in terms of mentally that I just think you're just going to focus them.
There's going to be so much noise around them everywhere they go. I mean, they've got Ospreys and then Bath. Ospreys in Europe and Bath, which actually is already a huge game given where Bath are in the league. Everywhere they go, there's going to. Do you see all the celery caps at in the shed and loads of fezzes with the minus 2035 on it and so on?
There was a big thing that they were going to print loads of fake cash.
Yeah, there was a bit of that as well.
There was 50.
Yeah, loads of wadges of cash.
But that's the shed. They're brilliant.
Yeah,
I mean,
but wherever they go,
they'll go out. Yeah, and they'll go out their way just to make stuff because that's what they see their role as. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Antagonise. Yeah, exactly. But from a player's point of view, at what point is that going to start really getting up your barrels, or is that just something you've got to accept?
Yeah, I just go on.
No, you
I was
go.
gonna say, just like Mike said, all it would do would be like, right, let's just show them. It'll rally people together. It will raise, the intensity of individuals, and they'll just want to silence it. They want to shut out all the noise and just be like, right, we focus on our circle. What's going on in here?
Yeah.
Let's just play. That's how we keep people quiet.
Well, you look at it at Gloucester, they had to go to the probably hardest place to go and play the week that came out, and they went and beat them with not a full strength team against a pretty much full strength team of Gloucester. So that's how they'll respond, and that's what they'll be looking to do every week.
You're absolutely right. There is a sort of a small dark part of me that really wants them to do it. It would just fuel the beast that is Saracens. Yeah. Do you want to stick your neck out and make a prediction?
And where they'll finish?
Come May, will Saracens still be a Premiership team? 10 of 18
what are they on now?
Gets them close. So they are
they're on
minus 22.
They're 24 behind, aren't they? Because they're 28 behind. 28 behind. On 6. So I reckon they're going to win that many games. And I reckon of those games,
work it through so we can hear.
So I think they're going to win 12 of their last 18 games.
Okay.
And then I think that they'll get at least 8 of those with a bonus point.
Right. So it's 40. 56.
56.
Yeah, so that gets them to 30. Well, they're minus 34 now. This is a real test of...
I'm staying out of this.
So that'll take them 34 points, yeah?
Yes,
and that would keep them up there.
So you're going with a yes. Points difference could be huge.
Points difference could be huge, but it's funny now that they're at the bottom, minus 22 points, but they're in the plus of the points difference. Yeah, they're like plus 24. And obviously Leicester are minus
44, I think now. Ooh, it's quite interesting. Do you know, it actually would be quite like every year you should just like pluck a team out of the hat and say, right, you've got to get 25 points back in the race. You get extra bits
and if you do,
you
get bonuses.
Yeah,
you do.
I'm glad the game has drawn a line and now we can just crack on.
Yeah. I think
you're right. The uncertainty would have been very debilitating.
I think he has nailed it in terms of what he said. In terms of he's taken everything on his own shoulders and taken it off the players. Yeah. So he's not put it on the players, not put it on the coaches. They've got a job to do. And then he's going, right, we're going to reform. We're going to bring in a director to deal with the compliance side and everything like that. Hopefully they are fully compliant this year, which is what they said, which is why they don't need to get rid of any players. So let's just draw a line. And he did talk about the good of the game. So at least he's done. They're going
to have to live up to the.
He's done the right thing, hasn't he? I think he's done the right thing. So.
You are watching and listening to House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe, together with our very good friends at Guinness, with me, Alex Payne, alongside Mike Tindall and Rachael Burford, who's got training in an hour. We need to get on with this, don't we? Yeah. Well done, you. Thank you for coming in.
How long does it take you to get to training for me?
It'll take about an hour and 20 minutes.
Do you go to the Twickenham Stoop, or do you do it down in
Surrey Sports Park? Same place as the men. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Right. Cool. Crack on. Still to come, we're going to talk England's Red Roses, Jamie Joseph, and we'll have a game of Would You Rather, in the spirit of the Bush Tucker trials. But when we were in Japan, obviously, apart from our live shows, we were out and about doing quite a bit of filming. Last week we showed you what happened when we got our caricatures done. 4 out of 10 for accuracy. This is what happened when we went and tried our hand at the Japanese national sport of baseball. Have a look at this.
Whoa! Yes!
That's it.
That is out of here.
That is the shot of the day.
That
has gone home.
That is the shot of the day, sir. Oh.
Well, Japanese rugby is certainly enjoying its moment in the sunshine right now, but the big sport here in Japan is baseball. And with the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks having wrapped up their Japanese series for the 5th time in 6 years last night, we thought we'd come down to the Tokyo Swallows batting cages for a bit of a test out, see if we can get ourselves a contract for next year. I think it's fair to say the boys are just about good to go. Hask, who's been batting above his average for many a year, hoping to show he's finally got some skills in a sporting environment. Tim's just looking to try and avoid passing out over the next hour. Let's get the games on. Oh, what the fuck? Bullshit. Oh, came up fast. Should we have a spread bet on the number of hit the connections?
Fuck me.
Oh, six. How are you getting on in there? Right?
It's hard.
Hey! Sky down to the back of the stadium.
Basically, it's like watching a gorilla try and play baseball.
Well done, mate. Really good stuff. Super. Pick on the
Well, you
excuses.
chalk that up to another thing I can't do. Mate, by the time you started swinging, it's already gone past you.
Are they short? Are they short? Oh, they're bouncing in front of me. Ugh. Were you fiddling about with?
Well, no, we were just varying. I was trying to send the heater in.
Fuck! Shit! What was it on?
Alex Payne can't hit the heat.
Yeah, that's
No,
quick.
I did it.
So what
Wait,
was
you
it?
stood
What
there-
was it on?
Oh, I am shite at baseball.
Get ahead of it, Muzz. Get ahead of it. Oh.
That one came out fast. I think I'm still too close, swinging in a different country.
Oh, that's just terrible.
How can you start sweating that much?
Fair to say, 2 winners, 1 rather large loser in the batting cage at the Tokyo Swallows.
Actually hit more than what I thought someone hit today. But it's just really awkward watching Haskell try and get really angry. And I was actually quite surprised there wasn't a bat break.
I chalk that down as something else I can't do.
You hit things physically right.
It turns out I've got no finesse, hand-eye coordination is lacking. I won't be getting a baseball contract. Never mind. You know what, you live and learn. Oh dear. Go on, let's put little birdie's head back on.
Hoff, commiserations. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Tins. You're the winner of this round. Congratulations. We live to fight another day. Just.
You're watching the House of Rugby on Joe, together with Guinness.
I'd actually just saw for the first time that Haskell was actually holding the hand of the penguin in there. I think he was feeling very lost at the end of that day. What really irritates me about that, A, is that you actually were the best, but there were 1 or 2 connections from yours true. I mean, Haskell did not hit a bean all afternoon.
It was ridiculous, and it's just reminded me about what he said on I'm a Celebrity last night. He's like, I didn't even play rugby.
Yes,
you know,
he did.
I played tennis.
Athletics
there is no
and
chance.
football.
There's no chance he used anything that needs coordination. I lifted bricks and put them in a wheelbarrow
And hit
That's
things. He missed 11 consecutive shots at the baseball.
Out of
and
the 20 that we hit, he missed 11 on the bounce.
Yeah,
And then he edged 3, and then he missed the rest.
there was actually, just while we're doing, there was actually 1 damaged person.
Oh yeah, Sigh.
Producer Cy broke his thumb. He's just said his thumb is still sore. He got hit by a ball.
Oh.
So for all the incompetence of the 3 of us, at
That's why you
least we
should
walked
just
away
stay
with our
behind
heads
the
held
camera.
high. Good. Yeah, lots more content on the Joe channels. Make sure you can have a little look at that. It was an enormous amount of fun. I sort of slightly miss my Tokyo days and Tokyo
Yeah, I
nights. Don't forget to sign up to the House of Rugby Facebook group, closing in on 15,000 members now. You can also buy some merch if you'd like to. House of Rugby merch is available at shop.joe.co.uk, where you can make your orders. Let's have a little chat about the Red Roses. We mentioned the get out of jail free card. Did you think that was never in doubt, or were you a little bit sweaty about where that was looking at 78
I thought
minutes?
they'd blown it. So they
What happened?
what in the whole game
Yeah,
or that moment? It was just really kind of such a mixed bag. There were some really good parts that England were putting together, some great phases, playing in the right areas. But then there were just, uncharacteristic things like throwing the ball into touch, running into touch, knocking the ball, like things that you just don't expect. France looked like they had lots of energy. They had a few changes. So I think that brought a different element to it. And then it was like 78 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Got a penalty, kick to the corner, which England's line out is normally like their go-to.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, exactly. 9 times out of 10 they're going to score off it, and then we give it back to them. And it's like now it's 79 minutes. All the French players are in and around breakdown. England are piling in, putting pressure on, and then the 10 absolutely shanks it back in field. But before that you think, right,
Coaches
time's
like that.
done. Yeah. Oh my god.
I was going to say it's almost like the French women have inherited the French men's ability to look really comfortable and cruise to victory, only to blow it spectacularly. I mean, how much of a relief, therefore, to find a way to win? What does winning a game like that, which you have almost no right to win, do amongst the squad?
Well, it kind of makes you. It shows you that you have the belief to kind of just have one opportunity, and the players that you have around you to stay calm and to be able to shift the ball and take that one chance to then win the game.
Yeah.
That makes, like, you know, they didn't play very well. They know that they probably didn't deserve to win, but the fact that they kept finding a way, 79 minutes, probably they should have lost it, but they didn't give up.
Yeah.
They kept Haston at the breakdown, Haston on the 10, which then ultimately made them do that awful kick straight in the hands of our back three.
Yeah.
Probably the worst
Payne
place to...
Won't want to see that again. Just in terms of some of the individuals, your old centre sparring partner, 500 points for the World Rugby Women's Player of the Year.
She's been making headlines, hasn't she?
Hasn't she?
She did drop the ball over the line.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Get
Okay.
That's the first thing you said.
We love her, so let's,
Yeah,
we love her, so let's get
we need
into
to
her.
bring it down a bit.
Did you get into her for that, Emily Scarrett?
Ooh. Do you know what? I haven't spoke to her since that part.
Oh, right.
Let her forget it, yeah.
Just what's it like playing with her? I mean, she's obviously got the world at her feet at the moment. I mean, as a centre partner,
She's
talk us
just
through.
really calm. I think that's what you kind of need in big heated moments. Very calm. She feeds in small information, and she's just somebody that you know that can tidy things up and go forward when you need a bit of front football or you need mess sorting out.
Yeah.
She's a go-to player, and you need those types of players in your team.
She's so sort of long as well. She runs great lines.
Rangy runner.
She runs great lines. Plus, she's sort of long and difficult to tackle. So you've got to be really close to her, because if you don't, she's going to get through those tackles.
Long arms as well.
To just fend you away.
You obviously played World Cup finals together. How old was Emily then? It was 2014.
10 would have been
10,
the
of course it
first
was,
one.
yeah.
Wow,
Was it 2010?
Yeah, was been our first one, and then 14, then 17.
So when she first arrived on the scene, what were your memories of the...
She was 18,
Yeah.
I believe, and she was playing in the under-19s. And she played one tournament, I think, for the under-20s or the under-19s, and then literally got straight pathway into international. She played in the Nations Cup at Isha Rugby Club.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of tearing through players, running through defences like you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And I think to start with, everyone's kind of like, oh, who's this new kid? Looks really young, seems really like very quiet at that time, very quiet and innocent, and she is still innocent. But you kind of didn't expect her to kind of step up and deliver straight away from the off.
Yeah.
At such a young age, and she's just continued to flourish and develop and get better. And year on year she gets better.
Taught her everything you know.
Yes, that's
Brought her
true.
along under the wing. What about some of the other, particularly some of your Quins teammates as well? Those who've stepped up and who seem very, very comfortable at this level now. What have you noticed about the progression of, those kind of players?
Which ones? So
Obviously
like
sort of-
Leanne.
Yeah,
Jess,
exactly. Vicky. I mean, there's quite a good core group of Quins players in there.
Yeah.
I mean, how much does that help doing club and country together, do you think?
Yeah, I think it has a real strong link in terms of from playing at club week in, week out.
Yeah.
Girls are obviously full-time now as well. So they train full-time at Harlequins, so obviously they have a better bond of each other, know each other better, and then can take that into international. But you've got the likes of Jess Breach, who's, she's played
Phenomenal.
she's on 10 caps, 20 tries.
Yeah. That's
And
It's not a bad
outrageous.
scoring record,
No.
is it?
Outrageous. I'm trying scoring bonus. There are 9 of you. There are 9 Quins now in the England setup. Is that right? Something like that?
Yep.
Panac.
No, and then our other internationals
We
as well.
investigated them for selling.
Yes, I think we should. Actually.
If only we
We've all
got
got
salaries.
property companies. Just very quick, where are you on your return to sort of full speed? You've obviously had a hamstring injury, haven't you?
Yeah, so I'm back playing,
Yeah.
but obviously there's a break now for autumn internationals, but I'm just kind of not fully fit yet, not
Yeah.
80 minutes ready. So just training, ticking along, popping in here before training.
Penciled
Yeah.
in Six Nations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully, potentially.
Do you have a regular dialogue with Simon? Does he keep in touch, or does he?
I think it depends, like kind of where you are. Like obviously right now he's real busy, he's in it, but all the coaches come along to every game.
Yeah.
But it's quite difficult if I'm not playing.
Yeah.
You can't be seen really, can you? So
No.
I'm just gonna get back on the pitch for full weighties and then just see how it goes.
Have a
So
blast
you're
of it.
ringing him, go, yeah, I'm still
Yeah,
here.
hello.
Fitness is going
Coming down
well.
this weekend.
Yeah, a little WhatsApp message.
Yeah.
Just talk us through, because obviously I remember Gary did quite a bit with Gary Street back in the day, who's now obviously with you. But what has Simon done within that England setup? In terms of taking it on, and there's a lot of success Can't wait
Yeah,
now.
so obviously Simon was involved back in 2014
Already, yeah.
when we did win the World Cup. Not as a lead role, but came in and worked a lot with the backs and individuals and kind of like running lines and things like that. And then since then he took over the reins. I think within the women's game, everything is constantly evolving, and I think that's something that they really try and do within that management group. Is the team has always been very successful in England, so I've always kind of been quite a few steps ahead of other internationals, kind of apart from with New Zealand.
Yeah.
But I think what they don't do is just kind of sit where they are and think, you know what, we're still better than everybody, we'll be all right. It's actually, what can we now continue to develop? What can we bring into our game? What can we change? How can we, get a player and try and mould them slightly different, or bring in different ways that they can play, and just trying to keep developing and growing the game.
Yeah. I just want to ask you about Shauna Brown.
Yeah. She'll love this.
What a remarkable story.
Yeah.
Can you just paraphrase this?
Oh God, I don't think I can. She's like
Really?
discus,
Yeah. Was it discus or was it
shot put,
hammer?
hammer,
Hammer at the 2014
Yeah.
Commonwealth Games.
Commonwealth Games.
And a gas engineer.
Yeah. Deep sea diver,
Deep sea diver.
firefighter.
Bloody hell. That's a
that's
Swiss
what I mean
Army
by
penknife
can't-
of a CV.
Yeah.
She should actually
She
work with
is.
Marley. You could have quite a nice little,
Yeah, get a little.
bit like the Trotters.
She do deep sea gas. If she does deep sea gas thing, you get paid pretty well for that.
Yeah. I
Danger
think-
pay.
And found rugby at the age of 25, is that right?
Mhm.
And is now ripping up trees.
Yes.
What kind of a
Can
character?
you imagine
and-
if you are a hammer, discus, and shot, you're pretty powerful and
Yeah.
you
Mm.
can possibly rip
And
up a
pretty
few trees.
strong, yeah.
where does the story go from here? What kind of characters and where does the story go from here?
Well, I think she is I think from her athletics background, she's so individually driven,
Yeah.
and she loves competition. And
Yeah.
so, like, things I remember of her, like because I used to room with her, she'd always be like, I want everybody to be fit, so then it's a fair competition. Like,
Right.
I don't just want to get picked because other people aren't fit. So she's got such a strong determination, and she's very, like, when we have like our one-to-ones with coaches, she's very much, well, how do I get better than her? Tell me what I need to do. I want to get this. And so
Yeah.
I think that sort of characters come from her individual athletic days, where she's very driven, very focused. But she's an oddball.
A lovable oddball.
But yeah, she's one of those that's just different, but completely embraces it and loves it.
There are some brilliant
Yeah, you need some
characters
of those, don't you?
I mean,
within
she's
that
only
Red
been,
Roses squad.
yeah. So she's been playing 3 years now,
Something
4
like
years, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
she started as a
remarkable.
flanker, and they've moved her to prop now.
Obviously, I just want to pick up as well on another win over France. Was that 4 on the trot? I think it is. Is it 4 wins on the trot? Something like that, if not more.
At least 3. Yeah.
How much are we beginning to see the fruits of central contracts and that system being instigated into the women's game?
I think it's still early days, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of the clubs are still finding their full-time programs.
Yeah.
So that's only kind of come in this September. Some clubs have had it established earlier, like at Harlequins we were really lucky that they kind of started putting on full-time stuff before these contracts even come in. So I think that's the first part, is the clubs actually finding full-time programs and getting everything up and running.
Yeah.
But I think you are starting to see some of kind of the different ways that England are trying to play.
Yeah.
So that's obviously coming in, where they're doing it week in, week out with each other. But as you see, that wasn't a complete performance against France. So there's
Yeah.
still a lot to
Lots
work
of
on.
room for
Yeah,
improvement.
which all the players actually say and think.
And also, you can have a bad game, and if you still get a result, it's just as good as getting there.
Yeah. What about having the ladies and the men both in the same place at Queen's? Does that strengthen? Is there quite a lot? Do you cross at all? Is there a bit of bouncing ideas and?
Yeah, so, Paul Gustard is really helpful towards the women's team. Like, he's always offered his hand out. I've gone and done some shadowing with him.
Yeah.
Our coaching staff have worked with him. And I think the door's open if all you've got to do is ask, I think.
Yeah.
But what they, is 60 lads and 60 girls. It's quite, I don't know if you've been down
Sounds-
to the
sounds a
queue.
party, yeah.
It's not huge. So we've got to be quite logistical about things, about who's in the queue at what time, and
Yeah.
pitch bookings and stuff like that. But it's definitely like kind of an open club, and everyone feels very welcome.
Exciting times.
Yeah, no, it is really good.
Good on ya. Keep doing the good work. See you back on the Panic before too long. A couple of other bits I want to get into. Jamie Joseph, who was on the shortlist for the All Blacks job, has said no, and he's re-signed with Japan through to 2023. Sort of wondering. I mean, that has to be some unfinished business there for him. But what do we make of the fact that not only he but also Warren Gatland didn't say I don't want the All Black job, but said I don't want to go onto the shortlist for the All Black job because I've got the Lions lined up. Seems to be people sort of taking themselves out of the running for that gig.
Yeah, but I think with Jamie Joseph, I think what Japan achieved, they built on obviously from 2015.
Yeah.
And then I think he still believed that they should have gone further. So it probably is unfinished business.
Yeah.
And I think the direction he's taking, the way that they play, it was probably a joy to watch in the World Cup, and they probably were the most entertaining team to watch. And hopefully, long may he continue getting up. Now it's down to world. That sounded dodgy. Long may he continue getting it up. But
T-shirt.
Yeah,
We're all on that quest, Tim, as the middle age approaches.
I just hope that World Rugby looks after them in terms of getting them more and more competitive games, making people go tour there.
England is touring there next summer.
Yeah. So, and then get them into a championship where they're getting regular games, because I think generally...
It has to be the Rugby Championship, does it?
Yeah, it
bring
does.
them up to the Six Nations.
No, you can't. I think it has to be Rugby Championships, and I think you just need to change the format of it. You know, I know that the Southern Hemisphere players don't quite play as many games as we do in terms of club sides.
Yeah.
So maybe they could...
They also need the commercial opportunity.
Obviously that's probably why they play each other twice, but they might have to change that if they do take Japan in there. But and then maybe do it as a
do
playoff.
Japan and Fiji, and then you've got
do
6
Japan,
teams in
Fiji, and then do a playoff. Or they love a playoff down in the
They
Southern
love a
Hemisphere,
playoff.
don't they?
Who is going to get the All Black gig? Scott Robertson or Ian Foster? Promote from within, from someone who knows it well, or a fresh brush with the dancing?
Well, yeah, we just want the
direction
dancer
rugby.
in there, don't we? We love Robertson.
Have you done barbars with Robertson?
No.
Well, Greenwood did barbars with him.
Yeah.
I think one or two
with
clubs up here.
I did it with JK.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Sir John.
John.
Quite a few clubs up here apparently were interested in Scott Robertson, and he said no thanks because the surf's crab. So that's where his priorities lie. I suppose only Exeter would therefore, and Newcastle might, because some good breaks up in Newcastle.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to get in there, would you?
Carl Heyman was a massive. Was always in with.
I can imagine him enjoying.
Yes, that's the
freezing cold.
Yeah.
Test his manhood. I think they generally have success from promoting from within.
So you think they'll go Foster?
I think they will.
I'm not sure that's the popular choice down there. Whether that makes it the right decision or
that
not,
is the popular one. But if you look through the history, they've always done that, and it keeps the continuity of the systems that they do and how they blood players and how they bring everyone in, and all the ethos side of it seems to never shifts. You don't get a roller coaster with the All Blacks, do you? You get a very steady run. But I mean, I think anyone who's played in Super 14, I think he would be fine.
Super Rugby,
he would be.
18 teams.
He would be fine with it.
Would you take the All Blacks job because of the tools and to keep them at the top, or would you take the Japan job where arguably there is most room for growth as someone who's looking at going into coaching?
I think the Japan job is so exciting and so unknown, and I think obviously Jamie Joseph had 3 years with the team, doesn't he, to get them to where he got them to. And I think the opportunity of what's untapped and just unknown at the moment, I think that kind of excites people to want to go gravitate towards there. And I think anybody who's going to take over that All Blacks job, it's quite a big shoes to fill, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also I think with that, you don't know what impact yet that World Cup's had on Japan.
No.
Obviously,
particularly with Tokyo Olympics coming around the corner as well.
The most watched game, that Scotland Japan game, 65 million people watched it. Half the population in Japan watched it.
Casual.
So you've got to then think, what am I going to get in the next 3 years?
Yeah.
Obviously, off 2015, they got a few more players that come in and change the face of Japanese rugby. Then what's going to come in another 3 years, 3-4 years? So I think he's excited by that. I'd be excited by that. I think having now knowing Tokyo as I do, that would be
you in the running? Are you in the running?
Yeah.
Throwing your hat into the ring.
No, if he needs any assistance, and I'll quite happily come over and do it the odd week.
Very nice too. A couple of words on Israel Folau. Move on.
Yeah.
Absolutely no interest in going there anymore. Keep doing whatever it is you're doing in your own little vacuum, and the rest of us will just crack on with our lives.
Can people stop talking about him?
I think that's exactly what we're doing. It's just not really worth the time or the effort. Time for this week's Guinness Perfect Pour, on the other hand, which is worth a considerable amount of your effort. Our weekly test in 119.5 seconds, because that is how long it takes to pour the perfect pint of Guinness. a simple game of Would You
Drinking
Rather.
Guinness
in honor,
Clear today, aren't
Guinness
we?
Clear,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is a game of Would You Rather in honour of I'm a Celebrity, using generally only Bush Tucker trials and tests done in the past. You're both in. Away we go. 119.5 seconds. Burf, would you rather skydive or stand on the edge of a tall building?
Skydive.
Have you done it?
No. I'd like to, though.
Mike, would you rather skydive or stand on the edge of a tall building?
In terms of what looked the scariest was standing on the side of just because of the wind.
Yeah.
But
So
I
you'd do the
You've got
scariest.
problems with your wind.
I
haven't you?
do yeah. Skydive, once you're out, you're out. You just got to get off the edge. You just got to jump on me.
Would you rather put grasshoppers in your mouth for 20 seconds or water spiders for 20 seconds?
Grasshoppers.
Don't like a water spider?
Don't like anything that's a spider.
Well, it's quite wet in your mouth, so that you never know where they might head to.
They might lay eggs.
Yeah,
Dense grasshopper or water spider?
I've eaten grasshopper, so I'll take a grasshopper.
I didn't see this Bush Tucker trial, but I would love to have done. Would you rather lose a finger or a thumb? Was there someone who had to
Ooh,
cough up a
finger.
digit?
Finger.
Right, which one?
Little.
Little.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, I think that's
What,
fair.
a whole one or just part of it?
Would you rather be buried alive or trapped underwater?
Oh.
I think it has to be buried alive because at least that gives you a chance. Buried underwater, you've got a minute. Buried alive, you might have 15, 20.
Or you just die of starvation, heat exhaustion, and buried alive.
Well, I like your positive attitude. Just check out, give up. I'm going to fight for my opportunity.
What,
here. Yeah, exactly. Buried alive,
You're
trapped
bold,
underwater.
are you?
Yes, I am.
I'd go water.
You'd rather be trapped
Because
underwater.
apparently people say it's a good way to go. It's,
Okay,
Yeah,
lovely.
but you're not in the water.
Jesus,
You're
didn't
just
realise
trapped
we-
under it.
oh,
Didn't realise that
What,
this
in a
was
box?
checkout
Oh, like-
option.
well, no. Am I trapped underwater and I'm drowning?
I don't know.
or am I-
Producer
Yeah.
side. Oh, it's in the, what producer side clarified? In the water, buried alive or trapped in the water.
So drowning.
So would you rather be buried alive or go swimming? I think is the. I don't. Let's move on.
Yeah.
But would you rather? Here's a good one. Would you rather an hour listening to Hask's chat or an hour listening to Tin's heavy breathing? Which I have to say has got worse. It's like, yeah,
Haskell's chat.
you'd
Thanks.
rather listen to Hask's chat than the heavy breathing.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, because it's only
At least
breathing.
it might, and
it
you might make
yeah.
you laugh.
Yeah, exactly. I might.
Okay, Hask's chat. Okay,
Might
Hask
learn
wins.
anything. But
Would you rather sing or dance?
Sing.
Or
Dance.
karaoke?
Sing.
You'd rather dance. What would,
Yes.
what would you go with?
what do you mean?
You've got a shirt now. What
Oh,
would your dance be?
Absolutely not.
What would you sing?
Sing it.
Well, if we did it together,
If we
I've
did
done
it
too
together.
many times, I'd do "Shallow" with.
Oh
Right.
yes, we did that in.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh.
Well, it was
You've
good.
got the harder job than me, though.
Would you rather stick or twist?
Twist.
Twist.
Would you rather eat pig's testicles or kangaroo penis?
Kangaroo penis.
Righto. Good.
you rather
That's got mileage in the answer to that. Yeah.
I'm going to go testicles.
Pig's
Really, a
testicles.
pig's?
Lovely. Straight to the old kangaroo. Would you rather lose the ability to speak or the ability to read?
Read.
Yeah, read. I can't
Stick
read
on
anyway.
read, yeah.
Yeah,
Would you
sticker.
rather sit in a box of rats or a box of spiders?
Rats.
You'd rather sit in a box
Yeah.
of rats?
All day long.
I'd take the spiders.
I'd probably take rats as well.
I'm not that into rats, I've got to be honest with you. Would you rather eat a box of dry spaghetti or two cups of uncooked rice? Dry spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe
spaghetti.
uncooked rice, I don't know. Let's ponder that one.
Yeah.
Would you rather one nipple or two belly buttons?
One
What is it,
nipple.
like one central nipple or just
You can place it wherever you like, man.
One right here.
Yeah, right in the old middle.
I'd
middle.
go one nipple.
One nipple. Okay, yeah, I'd probably get one nipple. Would you rather do without food or water?
Water.
Okay. Could you last longer in an enclosed space with snakes or with cockroaches?
snakes.
Snakes.
Really? I hate snakes.
Don't yeah, but
I bet.
cockroaches
Cockroaches are
smell, don't they?
And if you said, would you prefer to be in a box with 3 snakes and 3 cockroaches? But there's never just 3 cockroaches,
No,
is
like
there?
thousands
There'd be
of them.
50,000 cockroaches and maybe 10 snakes. So
Yeah.
the numbers would work better for me.
Mental torture or physical torture?
I still tell you something about
What?
bit of physical, please.
Back to the leathers again. Is it? Strap me in, doctor. Would you rather have the game of your life in a World Cup final and lose, or not get picked and watch England win? Well, you've done both. So
Oh.
you've both done both.
No, I haven't.
Well, you've won.
No, well,
Oh no, actually you haven't. You've had the get. No, you're absolutely right.
Haven't
You've
lost.
both done the amalgamation of two.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go on.
I would prefer to not be in the squad and win.
Not being really. That's
Yeah.
what a team player. But you'd rather play well
I
than
think,
you take the glory.
I want to play.
Yeah,
I don't know
Gloria knows.
the whole statement, but yeah.
But I'm looking at. I played maybe every game, and
Are you in the squad or are you just a spectator?
I'm in the squad though.
Yeah,
I'm,
you've been
I'm
in
a
the
World
squad.
Cup
Yeah,
winner.
you've been
I'm
in
a
the
World Cup
squad.
winner
Okay,
at the
yeah.
end of it.
Yeah. Last but
They
not
do the
least,
graphs.
Woking Pizza Express or Windsor Pizza Express?
Fuck you, Si.
Moving on.
Domino's it is. Good. I think that kind of worked on some level. I think kangaroo penis was a highlight, plus a single nipple, and
Wherever you
an
want it.
American hot in Windsor. That is it for this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe, together with our very good friends at Guinness. Don't forget to download and watch some of Joe's other programmes, Pioneers with John Amici, as well as TK with Carl Frampton and Liquid Football with Kelly Cates. Thank you very much. You're off to training now.
Yes.
How's the mindset ahead of... What are you doing tonight?
We've got full
Have you
contact
really?
live.
Tuesday, always
Yeah.
full
There
hours
you
on a
go.
Tuesday.
Things don't
Could you want them
change.
to have sat here chatting rubbish with us
Yeah.
before getting into game mode? Do you flick the switch quite quickly? You can just get into it and go?
Yeah, just get competitive, don't you?
Well done, you. Good luck.
Thank
See you,
you.
hopefully, back ripping around very soon indeed. Behave over the next week or two. What do you do? What's in the diary?
What is in the diary? Work day tomorrow.
Right.
Um,
That's a
What does that
first.
and
consist
then-
of?
Taking
lot of
clients out for a
meetings.
boozy lunch.
Selling tables for your dinner.
Well,
Yes.
so we've got to do that as well.
Oh, and I did want to say as well, Women's Rugby Pod. If people want
Yes.
to come and hear a bit more about
Women's
you and
rugby.
with the great Johnny Hammond, when is your next edition?
It'll be out tomorrow.
Is it?
Yeah, we had Jess Breach and Leanne Riley on there today, and
Fabulous.
Franco, Giada Franco from
Good.
Italy. So
It's a very good
edition.
listen. Send my love to Johnny H
Thank
as
you,
well.
will
He's a
do.
good man. That is it. Thank you to you both. See you next week. We've got Marla back next week.
Excellent.
Let the madness
Just
return.
how good was he on Jonathan Ross?
Very good.
Oh my word! I just wish he could have nailed that Adele song.
I know.
I actually thought he was
We might
actually
give
going to
him
give it a
another
go.
go.
I thought
He
he
was
was
going to
gonna
give
go.
it a go, and he just to duck behind
And
the
it just got
sofa, I
worse
was-
and
I was
worse,
just
didn't
like,
it?
Yeah. We'll welcome
And
him
that
back with
comedian
open arms.
loved having you being lifted by
Yeah.
those two boys.
Nice
didn't he?
jockstrap.
Yeah.
Stand by your beds. Seatbelts on. Marla is back next week. We will see you then. But from all of us, have a great one in the meantime. Thank you for watching and listening.
You've been watching the House of Rugby on Joe, together with Guinness. Drink responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk for the facts.